All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. I am on day 17 already of a journey using this book by Jamie Messina to kind of help with part of this transitional period that I'm experiencing. So basically, my main purpose of using this workbook is because I couldn't really see myself going like 30 days without any kind of structure. Like, I'm already bad enough as it is. But I needed kind of something to kind of at least help somewhat, like a little bit, to kind of guide my days. So I think I may have had like 2 days where I was a little bit off, but so what I'm trying to do is record morning and evening, or record in the morning and kind of recap my evening, which is going to be what's going to happen today. Is I'm going to talk about day 17, recap the end of day 16. The end of yesterday was very interesting. So basically, going through the prompts for yesterday, so the end of 16, let me see, I have to find basically the questions. So, my favorite part of yesterday was basically that I came full circle to some conclusions about some social stressors that I've been dealing with, and I'll talk more about that. 5 things that I accomplished. I mean, definitely that was one of them. I've been trying to kind of figure out how to get to the bottom of this, kind of like how I get these like mood kind of issues. But I'll talk more about that. But I've been talking about it off and on. Anyways, yeah, I did a lot on the website, did a lot of writing, did a lot of eating. I don't think that was a good thing. I think I ate too much yesterday. I'm certain I did. And then I didn't get enough exercise. And I also had too many edibles. And that was a conscious decision on my end that maybe I should have not been so gung-ho about, eating all those, but I did. And I fell asleep with my lights on, with my phone on, and I even woke up mostly just to turn down the heater, go to the bathroom, get a little water, and then I went back to sleep. And then I woke up again. It was like after 8 a.m. The sun was brightly shining, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I slept in pretty late. So, yeah, those edibles definitely get me kind of knocked out, and which I can't say I'm not well rested. That's one thing I can't say. I definitely slept 8 hours, if not more. But it is a weird thing for me because I'm not like so used to sleeping. Like, people who know me, I wake up early. Like, I wake up before the sun usually with no problem. But I'm not saying that's not an issue. Like, I'm not even saying it like, oh, I pride myself by like waking up early. Like, I do feel better when I wake up early. It's kind of like I feel better about myself, but I don't I wouldn't say I'm always like at my best, most rested energy when I'm up at like 5:30, 6:30 in the morning, like I'm definitely still tired. But usually I just can't go back to bed. So I just get up, stay up. Um, and that's just kind of how my mornings start. But I do kind of have these energy tanks like later in the day. That's not uncommon. And then having the caffeine issue, um, getting into these caffeine cycles, it kind of throws me as well. But I do know that with certain things, like if I'm using cannabis or alcohol, um, usually it's going to require me to have caffeine the next day, just so I can be like a little more on the functional end of things. Um, Things I was going to do today, pretty much like wrapping up some stuff I didn't finish for the week, wrapping up something that I'm going to finish writing, uh, and yeah. Um, and I don't think I sent love directly to anybody last night because I was too much in my own head about stuff. Um, but I guess I practiced some forgiveness, and some understanding towards some certain people in my life. Um, I definitely took a deep 90 minutes or so to kind of talk myself through something that I, you know, first wasn't sure of, and then I kind of got more towards the bottom of it. Um, so let's see. For day 17, let us see. Day 17, the quote, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever." That quote is by Mahatma Gandhi. And the second part says, "As you go through today, pay attention to the story you are telling yourself. Is it empowering you or disempowering you?" So we'll get back to that. But okay, so for the morning reflection, for today's intention, my intention for today pretty much is an active one. I am really not having the easiest of times this week with my exercising routine. This week just feels long, so long, and I think maybe Monday. I don't remember which days I wrote down. I wrote it down. I had one decent workout this week where I noticed a difference. Maybe a second one. They were both yoga. They weren't like full yoga routines. It was mostly like the stretching, but not so much the body weight type stuff like the down dogs and all that kind of stuff. Like it was, or like the lunge type poses or things like that. It was more like the stretching aspect of things, not so much the poses that deal with like body weight and all that. So, yeah, I mean, the exercise I did get was kind of lacking, and I feel it. Like today, I feel like I should. I basically, I don't know how else to describe it. I feel like I should. Like yesterday I did a weigh-in. It was a Thursday's weigh-in day. I don't fully trust the scale because I remember my brother used it once. He was playing around on it, and every 5 minutes or every 20 minutes or so he was weighing himself, and it was always like different. And it wasn't even like because of meals and all that. Like he was doing it literally like every 15 to 20 minutes, like back to back, and it was like a different weight. So it's digital. It's one of those types where you have to like tap and then wait for it to go to zero, and then you weigh yourself. And according to that, I gained a bit, which is fair because I know that there were at least 2 to 3 days where I was kind of over on what I ate, for sure. Um, and the edibles don't help because I get the munchies and it's like really hard for me to like gauge calories. Like there's something that happens to my brain where it's like I know the amount I should eat, but then I'm hungry enough to eat way more than that. And so like the munchies don't help at all. Like they're really not helpful when you're trying to kind of keep things balanced on that end as far as like what you eat, how you eat. I wouldn't recommend. I can't recommend edibles if you get hardcore munchies when you consume any kind of cannabis products. That's definitely going to be an issue. Um, I can't recommend it. It's my own fault, but it's like also I kind of played around a lot this week. But I feel it. Like I definitely like I did laundry and it's like you know how it is when you wash your clothes, they're a little bit more snug. And I did laundry and I'm like, "Oh gosh, like I can tell." Like I'm like, "Oh, like I was wearing like basketball shorts and like board shorts. Like they have like these elastic or like they're not too snug fit. Um One of them has like Velcro and like those kind of um like those ties, like just like the classic board short tie fly, whatever you call it. Um but yeah, like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should just go to the beach today. I don't even know how I feel. Like it's really confusing for me. But I did screw around a lot this week. I know that I did. I tried to take some days seriously. I think I took like 3 or 4 days where I just kind of like did whatever I was gonna do in the midst of, doing the things that were on the list. So at least I was productive, but health wise, there were some days where I was like, I'm gonna eat healthy. It wasn't so much that I wasn't eating healthy, it's just that I was eating too much. Like for example, last night for dinner I ate some homemade macaroni, some homemade mustard greens, um, some chicken from Sprouts. It was like a thigh of the chicken that they already pre-make. Um, and I ate that amount of food and it was good. But then I had a couple homemade little cinnamon rolls after that. Um, and I think I threw a bag of chips in there. And that was after I'd eaten dinner. Um, what did I have for lunch? I think for breakfast, I know I had like eggs, fruit, um, and yeah, eggs, fruit, that kind of thing. Um, Toast. Uh, I don't know what I had. Oh, for lunch, I had a pretty big lunch too. I had a burrito, a little bit of sweet potato fries, and I had something else. I think I had more chicken. Um, and so I ate. That was a lot. That's a lot of food for one day for a non-active day. Um, and so it's just eating heavy, but being not active at the same time is not really gonna help me with this situation. Um, but yeah, definitely, I don't I don't get that hungry when there aren't edibles involved. Um, well, again, sirens. There were some sirens like 5 minutes before I started recording, so I didn't expect to hear them again this soon. Um, Today I'm grateful for pretty much kind of how yesterday went and coming into today. Um, so things that I already achieved for today um, is forcing some activity. That's what I'm achieving for today. It might sound weird, but I am gonna force myself to go to the mountains um, Sunday and stay till Thursday. And I don't know how much snowboarding I'm gonna get done, but I booked everything, and I'm like, I'm gonna leave town and go do that. I feel like it's overdue. I didn't do it this week. Uh, and I have to do it. I have to go. I'll count it as my January and February snowboarding because it'll be like crossing over the weekend. But dude, I slacked November and December. Like there were definitely a lot of storms though, in December and early January, but I mean I have the means to do it, so I need to just go as much as I can. I sent my friend a schedule, and I do feel like I should maybe stick to the schedule that I told my friend of all the days where I can go. I might just stick to that schedule and just go up all those days because I mean that's the only thing that motivates me this time of year to actually like get up and move. Like I really have a hard time, with when it's like colder out, and it's not even bad out here. Like the sun is shining. I'm literally sitting outside in the car just to get some sunshine in the day. I'm recording before I work out. I got a bit of a pre-workout, some C4 sitting right here next to me. I'll have some in about an hour. I'm hydrating right now, or supposed to be hydrating, but I'm talking too much to hydrate. But I'm hydrating and then gonna get some exercise. I ate a pretty decent breakfast too. And for lunch, I'll have my protein shake and maybe some eggs and fruit and chicken. I don't know. Like, I kind of have random stuff. Um, for protein shakes, I get those, not all the time. So I have like different types. So I get the Soylent chocolate ones that are like 320 something calories. Sometimes I get those, and they're like a breakfast supplement, or I use them as like a breakfast supplement, or sometimes I'll use them as like a post workout like um, kind of meal. Um, they aren't filling. Like they're filling enough to maybe take me to 2 to 3 hours. They're not quite filling enough to take me up to like 4 to 5 hours. Um, so it's a good kind of meal substitute, but for me, it's not like my body doesn't feel like it's enough. But it's so that's why I have to be careful with them because if I drink it as just a protein shake and then have another meal on top of that, it's basically like doubling up on meals. So that can be a little bit of a dangerous one. But I like them because if I'm on the go, at least I'm like, okay, I can drink that and I can still like stay out. Like sometimes when I'm in San Diego, I like to go to the gym and then like go other places or like, go to the gym, then go to the beach because it's like I'm already sweaty, might as well go jump in the ocean, and things like that instead of just like, oh, now I went to the gym and I have to eat like this whole meal and now I'm too tired. It's like, okay, just drink one of these shakes on the way to the beach and then I'm chill and just can stay at the beach for a while and then maybe shower, change at the beach, and then go like meet a friend or something. Like I kind of like to do stuff back to back like that. Um, if I'm just having like a solo morning and then just like gonna meet up outside, like maybe like an outdoor picnic, park picnic, or some kind of outdoor plans with a friend or so. Like if I'm gonna be outdoors, sometimes I like to just keep it outdoors, if that makes sense. Um, so yeah, that's one thing I like doing. So sometimes I tailor the shakes I use towards like the activities I'm doing. But that's definitely one. Another one I like. So I don't really eat a lot of dairy. I eat cheese. That's probably the only real dairy that I'll have. Like the other day, I had a Thai iced tea. I know they have like that condensed milk in there. I've had like a Vietnamese coffee. I think they also have. I think I had one of those last week or the week before, and they have condensed milk. Um, I've had a lot of yeah, that's kind of mostly what I've had, but um yeah, as far as like that kind of thing, like yeah, I don't really have a lot of dairy in my life. Um but yeah, um so that's one thing that I do. And then but yeah, I have these grass-fed Orgain. The Orgain is the name of the brand. Sometimes I'll get the grass-fed shakes. Um, Other times I'll just get like the muscle milk ones. Those are the easiest to find. And second to those, I think the Orgain grass-fed. But they have an Orgain plant-based. And because I can't seem to find it consistently in the stores, I kind of just get the powder. And then you can make your own shakes at home. So basically, when I'm gonna get some exercise, I basically put a shake in the freezer. I just stir up the powder in some water and stick it in the freezer. And then when I'm done, it's usually cold and a little bit on the frosty end, and I can just drink it, and it's pretty good. Um, but yeah, like those are kind of the shakes that I would use. But I think the problem with them is that when they're high calorie, it's like 100 something to 300 something calories. That's a lot of calories. Um, if it's not really a meal. So I do feel like it kind of helps to almost have one of those like with a meal so that you're actually getting lunch. So that for me, it kind of works better to have it for like a lunch. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, let me try to get in this episode and then record, well, get something recorded and post it and get the exercise in before lunch. Um, but yeah, I'm, I don't know. It's a little, it's a little, I need to kind of just change my routine a little bit. Um, so that's kind of what I'm working on. That's part of my brain dump for this morning, how I'm feeling this morning. So basically, I'll talk about kind of real quick, kind of what happened last night, because I was recording for like 90 minutes. Um, just kind of like just a brainstormy type of recording where I was just kind of like, okay, well, this is what's been going on. And I kind of realized after 90 minutes, well, probably around the 40-minute mark, I started realizing, I was like, okay, I'm really only looking at this from one perspective. And it took me 40 minutes into that venting to realize that the situation that I've been dealing with, just kind of how I'm kind of in more of an isolated mode, basically, just because I'm so easily frustrated with the kind of style, I guess I would say, of communication lately. Like, it's not even something that I would say is bad or negative. It's just, for me, it's just kind of frustrating because it's just very surfacey. And for me, the small talk aspect of conversation it's a little energy consuming for me. I don't really like it. I'm not really into just like, okay, let's talk about errands and chores and the weather all the time, like I have other stuff going on, other people have other stuff going on. I kind of like to talk about like real life and stuff. But I kind of realized, the area that I'm in, the people that I'm interacting with on more of a face-to-face basis, you know, it kind of hit me that, when I was experiencing a time like that, like mostly when I was growing up, it was mostly because of the religion that I was pretty attached to. And because of that religious community, it was hard to kind of be like, you can't really be yourself too much. There's a lot of like, oh, like if you have anything to say that's um like you can't be too real, you can't be too anything, like um if you have any faults or any kind of situation to address that's like maybe like some serious thing that you're you know trying to figure out or whatever, like usually with that church and stuff, it's like not, those are just not the people you talk to. And so I think that, because I'm interacting with so many people from this congregation, it's just, maybe that's kind of what it is that people just can only stick to the small talk because that's kind of the only like safe topics really, like culturally on their end. And so I think for me it just gets frustrating because it's like, okay, like you know like I left all that, I left all that for a reason because I wasn't into the whole like, okay, we can only really be fake with each other kind of thing, like what's the point? And so for me, once I left that kind of environment, I kind of realized more um kind of the benefit that it had with relationships with people, that it was actually easier to kind of connect with people and just be kind of more genuine and not really have to put on some kind of weird facade. And then now I'm back to dealing with a bunch of people that need to have that facade playing constantly, and I'm just like over it. Like I'm just kind of like so it's just kind of a weird communication situation that's been going on for a while now, and I didn't really understand it. And I was only really able to kind of see one-sided, like, oh my gosh, this is so obnoxious every single time. But now I'm kind of realizing what it is. I'm like, oh, like I've kind of found like safer environments for myself, and other people kind of haven't really found that yet. So they're kind of in this habit of just talking but not really talking about anything that might be like some deeper level situation, because people just feel like they can't talk about that kind of stuff, which is unfortunate. But it's been driving me up the wall, to tell you the truth. And but yeah, not so much now that I've kind of like thought through it. And that was like the first time in a while that something like that happened. But yeah, I think um, um, that was like one of the first times that something like that happened. And I was just kind of uh, um, yeah, like it was something that I wasn't really used to experiencing. Um, but yeah, like I usually, well, not the first time something like that happened, but it was like usually I can only really see the negative and don't really find another kind of method to kind of just deal. Um, so yeah, when it comes to this whole living as if you, yeah, let me see. So pay attention to the story you are telling yourself. Is it empowering you or disempowering you? So yeah, like I think one of the harder things for me is to kind of take something that's bothering me and kind of try to look at it from another perspective. Like, even though I know about that and I know how to do it, I wouldn't say that I always do it. And now it's something that I definitely value doing, that I find a benefit in, but I don't always do it. I don't like always end up kind of looking at different perspectives. So yeah, it took me like 45 minutes of venting about that to kind of be like, let me try to look at this from another perspective and see kind of like if there's anything there. And then I was like, oh, there kind of might be kind of a little bit of something there. People maybe aren't just trying to get on my nerves. But no, I didn't really think that it was like intentionally people being obnoxious. It's just, I was just like, why am I so annoyed by this? But because the level of how irritated I was getting was kind of not matching up for me. I was like, it's not really a big deal. Like, nobody's really doing anything to me. Like, it's not like someone's being mean or anything. It's just kind of like, I noticed, I was like, oh, like, I'm not used to this anymore. I'm not used to this whole, like, oh, we have to have this, like, small talk only kind of relationship, and that's not really what I'm used to anymore. So, yeah, I'm used to kind of like people actually sharing about their days and their lives and different situations going on, and not just like random stuff that's kind of like just, we're gonna have like a 3 hour long meaningless conversation, like it's like just like joking, and like there's really, it's kind of like, okay, like no catching up, no nothing, like okay. But yeah, that's kind of just trying to work, mostly just trying to work on things that frustrate me, because there's no reason to be frustrated by all kinds of stuff when nothing's happening. Nobody's doing anything against me. Nobody's like purposely being hurtful or mean or anything. So I shouldn't be getting so irritated when there's really nothing going wrong. But I think I'll be less bothered by it now. I was mostly blaming the caffeine. I was like, maybe I'm just so irritated because of the caffeine. But I do think it's because, I'm back in a setting where there's some patterns that I, purposely value doing without. Like I've purposely made it so that in my life I don't have to deal with those kinds of things. It's not even terrible. It's just something that's like not something I prefer. But there is like a cultural dynamic to it all and everything too. But yeah. But yeah, it's like the health part, the exercising part, that's definitely I've got to step that up. So yeah, I think the mountains, that's going to be a good idea. That's going to be the one thing that kind of gets me up, out. If I spend the money to get up there, I'm going to go. There is a part of me that's kind of nervous. Like, I know what it's like to snowboard without, being in the best of shape, and that can become its own problem, but I think I'll be fine. Like the last few times I've worked out, I didn't really like have like a problem, but I gotta definitely work on my flexibility for sure. I think that's the main issue. And I guess today I'll just have fun working on that video from Cesar Chavez Day 2022. That's the last time I went snowboarding, was Cesar Chavez holiday time. I feel like it was midweek, but I don't remember, because I think it was in March, and I was supposed to go up again in April, but I didn't. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's kind of all I really have to say for now. Um, but yeah, the way that I feel right now, I'm optimistic a little bit. Like maybe I didn't take this week too seriously. But I'm tracking things, so it's not like I'm completely taken by surprise. I'm just kind of like, okay, maybe I kind of overdid it. Some of my food choices, and sorry, I'm trying to finish drinking this water. So yeah, like, um, but yeah, I kind of like this book with like setting intentions and stuff. Um, Sometimes I'm not like fully doing it. Like it's kind of weird because it's like I can eat like relatively healthy and then still eat like too much. So um, I definitely think last night was okay. The final edibles night for a while because I need to have all my energy. So I might need to have some sober days. Just so I can do this athletic stuff because I mean it doesn't not help me. It's just the amount I took was too much. Like I feel like cannabis to some extent can help, especially when I have like a pre-workout in my system. Like once if it gets like too intense feeling, it really helps. But I should have stuck with the game plan with the swimming and stuff. I was gonna go to the pool at the gym this week, during the week because it's like easier to do during the week. But I actually didn't start doing it this week, so a little slacked on that, just a little. And I gotta open this door before I melt. So yeah, sorry, I'm trying to finish this water. But yeah, that's pretty much how today's gonna go. How I want today to go, how I want the rest of, you know, my time today to go. Like, I think I'm gonna have like some small exercising, like some really low key, get in some pretty low key, like just activity, like just movement in general. Because I've had a few like kind of like stagnant days. I mean, I can't leave it all up to Saturday because that's not gonna work. I need at least 2 days. So today will be one of the two, but I'm definitely gonna be feeling it. But I do need to stay on track. So, like, this is gonna be a good season. It's already a good season. Like, the resort that I usually go to has like, I think as of yesterday or so, they were supposed to have all the runs open on the east and west, and I haven't seen that in like at least 10 years or more, like where they open both resorts. I don't think I've ever snowboarded the East Resort, so I might. I'll see. But yeah, I do get partly nervous though. Like I always get a little nervous. It's not like the easiest. It's not the easiest thing. It's not the easiest sport. it's not the most like straightforward of types of activities to partake in. So yeah, there's that. But I think it'll help me too, because a lot of times that's what I have to do, is force myself to go do stuff, and then that does kind of help me to see the results, because then I'll get more consistent and more motivated just from doing something difficult, because it ain't easy. So I'm gonna drink half of this C4. What time is it? 10:51. You can hear all the trucks and buses and bass. All right. Alrighty, so I'm mostly hydrated. I'm gonna drink one more water bottle, get back inside, and get on with my late start morning. I'm gonna make the most of it. And thanks for listening. Alright. Headed to the gym. I was watching some of Natural Selection. It's the Winter X Games, Aspen 2023. And yeah, I'm just driving over to the gym, skipping the traffic. It's almost 1:30 on Friday afternoon, but this is my attempt to kind of whip myself into at least somewhat better shape. I can usually pull about 90 minutes at the gym if I'm like slow, just keeping it like slow and steady. So that's about the plan. I figure if I undershoot, I'm still gonna be there like an hour. But I'm gonna be watching this X Games footage there. Hopefully it doesn't end soon. But yeah, I'll see. I might hit the beach after. That sounds like something I really want to do because it's sunny out. I was looking at the weather. It's hard to tell if the weather on Sunday, part of it saying it's going to rain out this way, but it looks like overall things should be clear. There's just a little bit of confusion about whether or not Sunday there's going to be rain. I feel like there's going to be at least some rain. And that's fine. I'm fine with it. I'll be driving a rental car, so that's a little less worry for me. But yeah, it's a journey. It's always a freaking journey. But I guess the best way for me, honestly, is, have that pre-workout. I did have like half of the dose, which is like 100 milligrams worth of caffeine. But then I decided to have the full amount because I was like, I really need to make for sure. So I already did like, I don't know if it was like 40 or so minutes of yoga, and because I wanted to do like all the poses I could, like within my comfort level, I decided to do all that at home. Because I know like a lot of times I get a little, I don't know, it kind of depends. At the gym, I kind of have a little harder of a time doing some of the poses just because it feels a little awkward, or if I'm not that good at it, I don't want it to be like too much of a challenge for me. But yeah, I'm getting it in today for sure. I feel like that's the easiest way for me to exercise, which is weird, is just to do like slow paced, just like consistent. Like I'll probably get on the bike for like an hour or so. I'm trying to go this time of day because I feel like I can still catch the beach before the kids get out of school. Not my kids, but I don't have kids, but the kids, the neighborhood kids, because that creates a traffic situation. Like most of the kids aren't trying to like go to the beach after school, but I do notice it's a little bit more of a challenge to kind of do the things I want to do when the traffic kind of picks up. But yeah, it's nice, you know. I haven't been out a lot this week, so I'm really taking some time today to do that, and then Saturday I'll do the same. Saturday I might hit the other gym because of the sauna there. I haven't decided yet exactly what I want to do. Dang, man. But I also like driving this time of day because there's not a lot of people out. And this is probably one of the first weekends, like, I don't know, we're finally hitting consecutive weekends where there's not really a lot going down as far as, like, you know, expectations, holidays. I think the next holiday is, what do you call it? Valentine's Day, and that kind of has nothing to do with me, so I'm not really doing too much. But yeah, I guess we'll see. That's kind of what I'm up to this weekend. Coming into the weekend, anyways. And after today, I'll know kind of what I'm setting up for my plans for my Saturday routine. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna kind of take it easy on the edibles. I'll probably still vape some, but I feel like that doesn't really interfere with me too much. I'll vape some at night, and I've got some studying to do tonight. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with my plans so far. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased. I'm not like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to have daily like having that energetic feel. Like, I'm so used to kind of having my energy pretty low, like on purpose, you know, just because it's less anxiety provoking. But I might need to start having more caffeinated days. That might just need to be something that I implement into a routine, because I'm noticing I get a little I do get a little too I don't know. Well, it's weird to see people walking around in suits. I'm in an area in the city where people are kind of, you know, corporate attire. But anyways, I guess that's it for now. Working toward a little bit of progress here. Alrighty. Alright, well, end of today. Let's see. Get closer to this mic. So, for this evening reflection, my favorite part of the day was just working on the plans I had. Very solo day. Caught up with some friends a little bit by texting online, but otherwise, I was just kind of just did my workouts. I definitely feel a lot calmer today. I get a little worried that pre-workouts get me a little too hopped up, but I took it early, and I also forgot that I'd had some yerba mate as well, so I'm not sure how good I'm gonna sleep. And even though I said no edibles, I kind of went back on that and decided to kind of have some around 8:30. I ate like this kind of large size salad around 8. Well, I finished eating it at 8, so I'm gonna drink a bunch of water. Actually, I think I had those edibles closer to 9 p.m. So I'm hoping I'll just fall asleep. I've got my candle lit, chilling. Tomorrow I've got a lot of fun things to view. It looks like there's a powwow this weekend, as well as X Games, Aspen. So I'll be tuned in tomorrow just like I was today. Some things I accomplished. The exercise was a big one. The eating was a big one. Probably hydrated decently. I'm trying to plan out my next couple days. So I'll do that before I go to bed. And just kind of... One thing I accomplished today, another thing is taking it easy, taking it slow. I did a lot more looking at the positive side of things today. So yeah, tomorrow's going to be very similar, like I said. Saturdays are probably the biggest self-care day of all. So that's the day that I really kind of try to pay attention to my mind and body and don't really do anything that it doesn't tell me to do. Tonight, sending love to a friend somebody who hit me up that I said I was going to share this book with. End of day thoughts. I've noticed kind of the impact caffeine has had on my life from a negative perspective mostly. Because I was raised around a culture where it was kind of a taboo type of thing to kind of consume. But, everyone kind of turns a blind eye to it. It was never really like a big deal. people would have considered like, cigarettes and weed and alcohol and pork to be a bigger deal than caffeine, but caffeine's definitely one of the things on the list. And so I did kind of notice how naturally I did find a benefit for having it, for not having it, just because I feel like my blood pressure was kind of higher. When I was coming down from it, I'd get pretty irritable, and just feel kind of really just overwhelmed. It was like a physical overwhelmed feeling. I just hated it. And I get that way almost every day at work around 2 p.m. or so. And it was just like the worst couple hours of my day. And it kind of helped to lead to some poor decisions after work too. But all that kind of stuff adds up. But I would say I was kind of trying to figure out why it was that when I first moved to San Diego, I was so able to kind of do like gym stuff, hiking stuff. I used to work out like all the time. And I think when it comes to workouts, if I'm not just like sitting at a desk, doing stuff, if I want to be active and get out more, definitely the C4 helps. It can't help every day, but I think it kind of gets the momentum going. But I do worry that I might not sleep good. That's why I was like, well, let me just have some edibles, because I can't have tonight bad sleep and then try to wake up tomorrow and get some more exercise and then go back to, wake up early the next day and get over to the mountains. I'll feel depleted by Sunday if that's going to be the case, so I don't really want to do that. So yeah, I tomorrow, I'll just get the ball rolling, and yeah, it should be fine. But yeah, it should all be a good time. And I don't have much else I want to say about tonight. That was mostly it. So, Friday nights tend to be a very reflective evening for me. And so I'm just kind of chilling tonight. Not trying to do anything too complicated. But yeah. That's just gonna be my night, and that's pretty much day, did we say 17? 17. So yeah, we're definitely counting down. Counting tomorrow, there's gonna be 12 more days of this book, and then let me see if I'm gonna get a different book to work through, but I'm kind of enjoying this one. But alright, with that, I'm actually starting to get a little sleepy, which is good. Insomnia sucks, guys. Like, for people who don't get insomnia, it's like, it's not pleasant. It's like, basically you don't easily feel tired. It's almost like, not fully wired, but almost like if you drink coffee too late and you're just kind of like up and trying to sleep, and then you can't, And then the longer you wait, it's more frustrating. And, I have to go to lengths to not even really look at the time, because for some reason, once I know what time it is, it's a little more of a frustrating situation than if I don't know the time. So I even have to try, when I wake up at different times of night and stuff, like not looking at the time. But yeah, the lack of sleep definitely catches up, but I'm trying to get a lot more sleep lately. And I think this last week I definitely slept plenty, and so that was nice. That was nice to experience. And so we'll see. If I don't go to the gym tomorrow, I might hit the beach. It's always good to walk in the sand with all the resistance, and if there's no warnings, I might jump in the water. I wanted to do that today, but the kids were getting off school, and I don't like driving around this neighborhood when the kids are out of school, because there's like 3 schools right there, and the traffic is like terrible. But yeah, I'm gonna chill tonight and relax and plan out tomorrow a little bit better, and just have that be kind of the end of my day. But so I guess with that, that's all. Thanks for listening.